everyone. We're getting really close to the end of the programming. We're finishing up stage 2 today by adding the pair of thrusters, the code that makes them turn us left and right. So we've done such great work so far. We've got our servo motors working so that they orient the thrusters up and down. We've got the single thruster off to the front or back. We've got it working whether it goes faster or slower for forward and backwards. Now we just need to do those final 2 thrusters. On this page in your notebook, you'll see that there's a list of things that we have to accomplish with this code. We have to do all of these things. On the next page is a flow chart. And this kind of walks us through what to do in what order. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick. We're going to read the x-axis from the joystick and store it in the LJY variable. So we don't need to read the y-axis because we already did that above in our code for the that single thruster. So we can use that LJY we've already read from up there in this next part of our code. We're going to then map both the LJX and the LJY to new values of -100 to 100. That will make more sense when we do math to it because 0 should be off instead of some weird 512 number. All right. To figure out which speed to send to each thruster, for the left thruster, we're going to add LJY and LJX together, and then we're going to store it in a new variable called L thruster speed. For the right thruster, we're going to subtract LJY minus LJX and put that new number in R thruster speed. Because when we do this, sometimes we're going to get values that are greater than 100 when we add them, and sometimes less than -100 when we subtract them. We need to get rid of those values. So we need to ask if either thruster is greater than 100, set that thruster back to 100. That way they can never go above 100. So if that's true, it'll do that. If they're not greater than 100, it'll ask, okay, is it less than -100? And if that's true, it is less than -100, we'll set it back to -100. So it never goes below -100. If neither of those are true, then we have an acceptable motor speed value, and we'll just map that number now from the -100, 100 range up to what the motor actually needs, which is 1100 to 1900. So we'll map it to the motor speed numbers. And then we're going to ask the question, if either thruster is close to 1500, so let's say that the joystick's not perfect and it's sitting at 1480, we're going to say, hey, no, make that 1480 1500 because we really want that to be off. So we don't get this sputtering motor when we let go of the joystick kind of thing. And then after that, we're just going to take both the motor speeds and we're going to send them to their ESCs using that right microseconds command. And then the loop repeats itself. So it's a lot, but we can tackle it. All right, let's get to it. So I'm going to open up that same file we had before. And I'm going to race down to the bottom here. And this is for that single thruster. So I'm going to actually, let's put that in there. The following code controls the single thruster that moves forward and reverse. That only moves. Let's do that. Let's emphasize that. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these 2 lines of code, these 2 comments, and put those down here. Open up some space. I'm going to put them down here. And then the following code controls the pair of thrusters that turn the robot. It also helps going forward, backwards, up, down, but I don't want to type all that. All right, so now we've got our start. We've got our code ready. Let's go back and look at what we're supposed to do first. So read the x-axis and store a value in LJX. Piece of cake. I know I'm going to do analog read. And I want to do this as the LJX pin. But I haven't made that variable yet, so I'm going to copy that name. Come on up here. And LJY pin, and I'm going to put X in front of Y. So integer control V is equal to A0 semicolon. So I've got my LJX, my LJY, my RJY. I don't think we're using RJoy X for anything, so I don't have to worry about adding that one. All right, so that's in, oh, that's in there, yep. And of course this would work great, but we have to store it somewhere, otherwise Arduino will forget it immediately. And we'll store this in LJoy X variable. Again, I haven't made this variable yet, so let's make the variable. LJoy, oh, maybe I have made this variable already. So I have an LJoy X, LJoy Y, and RJoy Y. All right, I've already made it. Yay for me. And then let's come back down here and see what else to do. Well, let's see if this is working yet. In fact, I'm going to come up here and say, I'm going to grab this one. So I just grab the serial print from the LJoy Y pin. I'm going to use it for the LJoy X. So I'm going to change this to X and this to X. You can see when you're consistent with your coding how easy it is to reuse parts of your code instead of naming everything totally different every time. It's just an easy little tweak to everything. I'm going to upload this to the controller and make sure that I'm getting X control. So now I'm going to be moving my joystick left and right, my left joystick left and right. Servo angle was not declared in this scope. Uh-oh, did I delete something? I was editing the code a little bit, and I guess I got a little too carried away with what I deleted. Let's see if that solves all the problems. I was a little overzealous. Oh man, I did. All right, let me add these two back real quick. Hey, it worked. Awesome. So I'm going to open up my monitor and see if the X is working. Come back down here. And again, my serial monitor is a mess, but it should go down to 0 when I go left and up to 1023 when I go right. Everything's working great. Awesome. I'm going to click on the sketchbook to hide that scroll and Control/ to do with this. I'm going to go deal with this problem that just popped up here, and in the next video we'll do that next bubble, which is mapping our two joystick numbers to -100, 100.